Hello everyone.
And then
And then
I,
I Yeah, hi. I think nobody else is joining now, so we can start with the revision part. It will take a minute so that you'll be okay. So yesterday we did five things. First was the keywords. Keywords were basically the reserved word that you cannot use for anything else. Just for like identifiers, you cannot use it. And these are the words that have special meaning for the language compiler or translators that convert your code into some machine language code. Then we did identifiers. Identifiers are the normal naming words that you give to some variables. Suppose a is equals to 5 or length is equals to 10. So length here is an identifier. And there were three basic rules. That is, you can use alphabets, numbers 0 to 9, and then you can use a special symbol that is underscore. And the second condition was you cannot start it with number, and third
numbers.
condition was you cannot use keywords. Okay, and then in comment we did single line comment and multi-line comments. So multi-line comment you did with triple three times double quote, and for single line comment we did hash. And then Python indentation, in that we did what exactly indentation basically means is shifting your code with some space or tab so that that particular code gets under the particular portion of another code. For that, we did an example of for loop in that the print was indented inside the for loop. Just a second. Yeah. So in that for loop, okay, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So we did basic for loop in which we understood how the print section was indented here with some spaces so that it falls under the for block. And we understood what is the importance, how the indentation work. And then we did a basic statement, how to like if the statement length of the statement or the number of variables or addition or subtraction that you are doing is going like it's very long, so you can split that into multiple lines by using slash. And that was all we did, and just a basic difference between a modulator and a division sign. So if you use modulus operator you get a reminder, and if you want the quotient you have to use this backslash. Okay, so that was for yesterday, and today we'll be doing something that is very very important if you want to go ahead with the Python part. And when I say very important means these things will be covered in depth, and these are the fundamental base, or you can say the spine of the Python. So you must understand this in a if you do not understand, just let me know, stop me right there, because this is very crucial part and you have to learn it anyhow if you want to continue with the Python. Okay, so yesterday we had a basic introduction what a variable means. So variable is something which has values that can change. So when I say like last time we had an example of length or area. Okay, so we had this length is equals to 10. So here, if I am making a program, for me the length of a rectangle can be 10. If somebody else is making a program, for them it could be 20, 30. It depends, right? It depends person to person. So what is happening here is the value of this 10 is going to change. In this another code, if I want to write another part, I can, somebody else is writing, he can write length is equals to 20. Is it wrong? No, this is correct. What is happening here is this numeric number that is 10 is fixed, that is constant, but it is being assigned to some variable that is called as length. And that length variable is in a different say different form, we'll say it, this is an identifier, right? This is similar to identifiers. So what is happening here is anything that is going to stay same forever, that is constant, and anything that is going to change is variable. So any name that you are giving is a variable. So let's take an example here. Length is equals to 20. Okay, then we give breadth is equals to 7.0. Right, 7.0 is basically there are two types of number. Either it could have some decimal values attached to it, or it will not have some decimal values. These are just two basic numbers. Will not go as of now into complex numbers. There are complex numbers as well. Complex, when I mean, it means under root minus 1, that is iota. So we'll not be considering that part as of now. So we have two variables. First is length and second is breadth. These have certain numerical values. Okay. And then we have another variable that is that is let's call it name. So name is equals to what we are going to store in this is area of rectangle. So we have three variables here. First is length, second is breadth, and third is name. Okay. You see the third one, whatever thing that we have written into double quotes, it is string. Anything that is written into double quotes will be termed as string. Okay. What is a string? A string is a collection of like digits or alphabets, whatever be it. But if it is enclosed, if it is written between double quotes, it is termed as string. Okay. So now I have written these things. Now I want to assign multiple values. Suppose I have given length is equal to 20, breadth is equal to 7 into two different lines. But what if I want to assign at the same time? So what I can do is, there is another way we can do is, Python gives that freedom. So we have length, we have breadth, and then we have name. Together we can assign all the values here. We need not to write in different sorry. So we will give a value here 29. Let's let it be any number. So this first value, if I put comma, so this is respectively going to the first variable length. Now if I write 23.9, so this is second variable value, that is breadth. This second variable's value is 23.9, and third one is my string or area. Whatever I write, I'll write it area, let it be area. So now you see, if I run, I do not get any error. And if I want to print and check it out what these things are, I'll just go and type length comma breadth. Breadth. You see, I'm also getting this suggestions at the bottom. Okay, name. Now if I run, you see what I'm getting is 29, 23 area. If I change this or just remove this, I'll be getting what? I'll be getting just two values, that is 29 and area. So this is second way of initializing any variable or assigning any value to that variable. So this is a way here, variable 1 is equals to variable 2 is equals to 3. When all the variables are being assigned same thing, okay? All variables are assigned same values, we can just put equals to 1 is equals to second, second is equals to third. Okay, that is how you uh, assign. So when you assign any value to any variable, where what is happening to it, basically it is going to computer's mind and asking it, okay Python, give me some space where I can keep this value. Okay, it is same as you are going to, your friend is coming to your house and he's giving you some gift, and what you are going to do with that gift? You are going to place it somewhere, right? Similarly, when you give any data, when you are going to give any data to any variable, it will ask the Python to go and store at some place. That particular place will have some memory. Okay, why memory? Because if you want to take it from there again, if you want to use it again, what you have to do is you have to go to that particular address and take that thing from there. So in the previous example, we made two different variables. First was length. Okay, sorry, yeah, I made it length, and now there is a command called as id. If I put id length, so what's gonna happen is it is going to give me an address of length where this particular length is storing its value. So in computers memory, this is what, this is address, this is the address of length. Now if I go to breadth, I'll just write here again, I put print. Yeah, so just give me 1 minute, let me finish this part. Length, and then we have print id breadth. So I'll just run this and you will see where we are storing. So length is stored at an address, at a house that is having an address of 9793984, and similarly breadth is having some address. Yeah, please, sir. Someone was asking a question. Please go ahead.
Actually, that length, how it will come? I didn't get that.
Okay.
Means a 9793984, that part.
That okay. So this is okay. So you have a command called as id. Okay. This is the command that gives us the, so if you go select it and or you just put your cursor over that, it will give
Okay.
you exactly what this is doing. So return the identity of an object. Okay, return the identity of an object, or you can say where this particular thing or the value of length is getting stored. C Python uses the object's memory address. Suppose I give you some money and you are going to store in some bank, right? So if I want to ask you where is that money, what are you going to say? It is in that particular bank with this particular account number. That is what you are going to say, right?
Yeah.
So that is the ID of your account. So your account number is ID of your account where your money is stored. Similarly, we are using the same name for the function. ID is basically going to tell us what is the address where our variable is storing its value. Am I clear?
Yeah, yeah. Got it.
Okay. So let's take another example here. I have a variable A that is having its value as 18, and I have another variable b that is having value as 18 again. Okay, so if I ask the address, if I ask the address of a, it is going to give me the address where this 18 is being stored in a. If I run it, I'll get some 9793 something something like that. Okay, now if I want to ask the address of b, have you, everyone has opened this collab in their system right now?
Yes, yes, it's open.
Okay, just try this and tell me what is the value of b. A and b, is it same or different? Just this,
Which one?
same or take two variables, assign same value to it, and see if a and b are having same address or different address, where are these things are stored. And to all those who do not know how to open Colab, this particular sheet, just go to the Google and type Colab, COLAB, and you will get the first link. Open it, then click on File here and click on New Notebook, and then you will have this. Then you click on the code, this top section here, and then you can enter this. A is equals to 18, B is equals to 18. Then print the ID of A of ID of B. Okay. So I suppose you have got the answers. Can anybody say what is the answer? Do not tell me the value, just tell me, is it same for both or is it different?
One second.
Yeah, please. It would be good if you all run it, because this particular session I'll ask you to run many codes, so it's better you open your collab, because only that way you will have the understanding what we are doing.
ID have any specific fixed value for that?
Uh, I didn't understand your question, Shreyas.
I think if we remove that ID from the print, so it we will get 18 value, right?
Yeah, yes. If you remove ID, you are asking the Python to print the value of A. But if you
Right.
write ID, A means it is asking the address of A.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so why is it important to know where you have kept your account, like money in your account, which particular account? Why is it important to remember that part? Why do you need to remember your account number? Because if you want to use that particular information into your program, and if you do not know where exactly that address is, I don't think you are going to retrieve that information. Am I making sense, Rakhi? It is very important to like know the address, because at some point of time you are going to use that address. Okay, yeah, so that is what I was trying to
So
teach
Angan,
you. Yeah, please go ahead.
if I give print ID bracket length, will it display the number, or should I
So
start?
length, see, if you just give, let me write that for you. If I just write print
Hmm.
length, okay, so what it is going to, what does the command say? Command says print length. So whatever the value of length is there into this variable, it is going to be printed. So it is going to give us what? 29, because 29 was the value of length. But if I give id length, so that means where this particular 29 is being stored in computer's memory. So that is stored at this particular location, 9793984. Okay. In this particular example, what I was trying to teach you is that Java, or I'll not talk of any other language, but Python is very brilliant in the sense of memory management. Why memory management is required? You see, as I'm running this program, what is happening is the RAM is getting utilized. Okay. if if there is a uneven usage of memory, what is going to happen is your RAM is going to be burdened with extra task which is not required. Okay. If there are two items in like having same value, why I'm going to store it in two different places? Okay, I'm storing the value in one address, and then I'll just run it. See, I'm just storing it at one position, and for B I'm storing the address of A into B. So what is happening? The system is not required to save this 18 and 18 two times. It is just referring A to 18 and B back to A, because both are having same address. It is same like your father and you are, if living in same house, you both are not going to give two different addresses. You both will be having one single address. Why? Because it will save time for the postman, and it will save time for you also to remember which one to give under what circumstances. If you have one address, you'll just, if anybody asks your address, you will give the address, because no matter who is asking, if it is your father's parcel or your parcel. Yeah, Vishnu, please go ahead.
I think I'm making some mistake. I'm not able to understand. Like I gave print bracket length, so I'm getting error saying like a name length is not defined.
Because you have not given any value to length. Do one thing,
Okay,
just go.
okay. Basically, you have to give like L is equal to
Yes, length is equals to some value. Only then it will be able to understand, right? Currently, what you are
Okay,
doing is you are not giving any value to length, and you are just asking computer where is that particular person.
got it.
Yeah. So as of now, that person is not existing in his memory. Okay. So this is another example. Now change the value of A or B to keep A as 18 and B as 18.0 or whatever number you have given. Put one as 10 and or other as zero point 0, and now check whether the address is same or different. Is it done? So Shreyas has asked one question. What if we write like this? Is it going to work? So why don't we run it? So what kind of error you are getting here? ID takes exactly one argument and two are given. So that means the syntax error here, is the syntax of getting address. If you are going to get the address, you have to give just one particular variable to get its address. You cannot give two variables. So I think Shreyas, that is clear now.
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Yeah, okay, great. So n is having some address and then I'm going to search it for m. You see both are having different values. Okay, id address of n and m are not same. What is happening here is, for computer, if small n is not equals to capital N, similarly 10 is not equals to 10.0. Mathematically, if we ask, yes, 10 is equals to 10.0, but while storing them, computer or the Python treats them differently. One is an integer data and other is a decimal data. For decimal data, we have a term called as float. So these numbers are floating numbers. These are floating over your integer. So 10.09 is a floating number. This is a floating number. Floating is basically is equals to, in normal terminology, is a decimal number. Decimal number means having some decimal digits. I will not confuse you much, but this completely is a wrong naming system that we say decimal number means having decimal, but it actually means a number system. Decimal number system, deci means 10. A decimal number system means a number system which is having 10 digits, and that is what we are following, 0 to 9. Similarly, there is a number system that has only two digits, that is 0 and 1. It is called binary number system. Binary means 2, and that is also a machine language. So similarly, there are different concepts. We'll not go into that. Binary number system, decimal number system, hexadecimal, octal decimal. Okay, something like that. There are many number systems. Okay, so we have known two different datas. One was integer and another was float. Okay, can there be other type of data values? Yes, one more we did was string type of data. Okay, so the data can be integer type, floating type, or some, if we include complex also in this case. So we have three type of numbers here, and fourth one in which we have alphanumeric things, alphabets written in double quotes, we can say string. Okay, so if anybody is giving you value, suppose I am giving you a value that is 10, and I'm asking you what is this, then you can say this is what, this is a data. Now I ask what kind of data, because we know there are multiple types of data. So what I'm asking is data type, and since it is not having any decimal values, this is a integer value. So what is the type of data? 10. 10 is a integer value. Similarly, if I write 10.0, then what type of data is that? That is a floating type of data. Yesterday we did a basic concept of what is an object and what is a class. So an object is basically some real world entity which has some characteristics and behaviors. And what is a class? To remember this example, you can remember your class, ninth or 10th. You are with your friends inside the class. So everybody is an object and collection is what? Is a class. So class, what is a class? Classes are blueprints of objects. Objects are also called as instances. Somewhere major portion of time you will see these two words are being used interchangeably. Sometimes it is referred as object, sometimes it's referred as instances. Okay, so classes are blueprints of objects. This is a very common term, that is a very common definition. Classes are blueprints of objects and objects are real world entity. So let's take an example. Consider a class. There is a class that is called as car. Okay. So what kind of car we have? We can have Maruti Brezza, we can have Tata Altroz, Mahindra Thar, Audi, BMW. There are different types of cars, right? So car is a class and the objects are Maruti Brezza, Tata Altroz. These are the examples of car, types of car or varieties of car. So these are objects and each object has some characteristics like a red color car, okay, green color car, hatchback car, okay, convertible car. So these are characteristics. And what are the behaviors of those cars? Behavior is that it runs, it does the racing, it like travels. So these are what? These are the behaviors. Similarly, every data is represented by some class. Okay, every data is represented by some class. To understand what type of data we are dealing with, we use a command type. What type of data? You put your data inside this function, it will give you what type of data you are handling. Suppose we have num is equals to 10. So what are we going to get is type of data. This function type is basically going to give us what? What is the class of our data? What is the type of your data? If I run it, you see there are no decimal here. So what is the class here? Integer class int. So that is the type of data. Okay. Similarly, there is another function called isInstance to check if an object belong to a particular class. So let me give you an example here. So data is equals to data1 is equals to 12, and if I want to find what kind of data, what is the type of this data, we will write type data1. So it is giving a what? Class integer. Let me explain this particular print statement. Okay, so whatever you write in double quote is called as what? String. If I write this is string, okay, space. So what is going to do is anything you write in double quote, this print statement is going to print it as it is. You see, it is going to print that particular thing as it is, no changes. Now, if I want to add anything into that, apart from this, I'll use comma and give my next thing. Suppose I give length. Sorry, spelling is wrong. I give length. So what it is going to do is this is string space, then what it is going to print? The value of length. If I run it, you see the string is 29. Similarly, I can add before also. What was, okay, it was name we had defined earlier. So I'll print it area. This is a string 29. So name had a value that was called as area, and then it is going to print this double quote thing as it is, and then it is going to print length. Do not confuse length with len function. Okay, up to now we have two functions, type and instance of. How this is instance of, we'll do it a bit later. Okay, so data 2 is 12.5. This is a decimal value. If I run it, what kind of value we are going to get is, we are going to get some decimal values here. Then float, what kind of class we are going to get is float. Float is referring what? Basically it is referring some numbers, integer numbers, that are having some decimal values. Complex, at some places we write I for iota, or some places we write it j. So if you write something like that, 100 plus 20j is basically converting this data 3 into complex number. So I'm going to check if data 3 is a complex or not. Okay, before that, let me show you another example. B is equals to 5 plus 3j. This is our number. Now I'm going to check what type of data B is, what type of value B is storing. So I'll get what? I'll get complex. Okay, now I'm going to check what is the instance. The means I'm going to check the function is when okay, one thing that you can learn is, whenever there is whenever there is a starting, any function is starting with is, so it is going to give us two value, either true or false. Okay, is a question, is this India, is this a Python language, is this a glass, is this a car? So what is doing, what we are starting with is, and that is referring to some question. And what will be your answer? If I'm pointing to some car and I'm asking you, is this a car? So you will have two answers, either yes or no. Yes is basically true and no is basically false. So you will have two things, either it is yes or no. So you are going to get answer into two format, true or false, and in computer language that is called as boolean. Boolean is basically referring to something that is true or false. So is instance B comma, what we are going to do is we are going to check complex. We'll run it. What are we are going? Okay, sorry. We cannot use this bracket because it's self. We are using is instance and this is the class name. And now if I run it, you see it is giving me what? True. That is, yes, B is belonging to a class that is complex. Now if I check here, data 2, here data 2 is 12.5. Is it complex number? No, it is not a complex. What should we get the answer now? We should be getting false. What's the problem? Okay, I didn't run this. Now the answer is false. So is instance and type is basically this function type is going to give us what type of data we have, and is instance is going to give us whether a particular data is belonging to some particular class. Is object, instance is also called as object, is object. Okay, so is data 2 object of class complex? Okay, if it is true, then it will give us true, otherwise false. As I said, we have anything that is in true, it is called as boolean, and if it is false, then it is also boolean. True and false values are boolean. We have a variable named boolean variable and we are assigning a value true to it. Remember, in this true, T is capital, it is not small. If I write small, what I am going to get is an underline. Okay, that is not correct, it is giving me an error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and make it capital, and now I'll get the answer true. So if I change this to false, FALC, so now it is going to give us what type of data it is boolean. So we have two values, either it is true or false. And remember to keep the first letter or first alphabet as capital. Now coming to strings, what is string? String is basically anything written in double quotes. So whatever thing you enter whatever thing you input in Python, by default the data type of that thing is string. Okay, if you ask any user to input some value to Python language, whatever you enter, computer is going to, or the Python is going to take it in a format of string. Okay, that is, you should understand and remember the default input data type. What I'm telling is default input data type of Python language is string. You need not to remember it, you will learn it when you try to do the basic coding. We'll learn it by the coding part. Don't mug up anything in this course. I'll not ask you to learn anything, you just concentrate and understand the concept and the logic, and you will automatically understand. Okay, so whenever there is a string, remember it like a long train. Okay, what is the similarity between train and string here? When we have a reservation in a train, what do we get in a ticket? We get a bogie number and a seat number. Okay, similarly, when you store a string inside any variable, here variable name is string variable, and we are storing this particular statement. This is a string variable. Or let's take another. Name is equals to, I'm typing bridge, Nandan space Tripathi, Bridge Nandan Tripathi. Okay, so my variable is name and it is storing some data, and that data is in format of string because it is in double quotes, and that string is Bridge Nandan Tripathi. Okay, now consider this as a big train. So each letter or each alphabet or each character, including the space, this is also one particular character. So each character is one bogie. Okay, this is B is stored, B is put in S1, then S2, S3, S4, S5, similar like that. Okay, and you know the bogies are in which format? Rectangular format. This is okay. This anomaly which I'm trying to give you is basically to learn, not this is nothing true, this is just to make you understand. Okay, so my train is name, train is name, and in that train if I want to go to the coach number 1, so can anybody say what answer we are going to get? And please type in the comment. If I ask 1 in my name Bridge Nandan, what I'm going to get? Which coach is it referring to? Every single character is one coach. So if I'm asking what is at position 1, what will be the answer? Yeah, string should be in double quote always. You can also use triple quote, but I avoid that thing because it's unnecessary when we can do it with single quote. The one double quote, why to go for double and triple? So make an habit to write anything in double quote, that is string. So what will be the answer? Any guess? You just run the code. Name is equals to, put your name in double quotes and then try to print name bracket 1. What you are getting? Which number you are getting? Sorry, which alphabet we are getting? Anybody? Okay, no issues. I'll just run this code and I'll show you. See, I'm running it and I'm getting R. So what's happening here? We can see the first is definitely B, not R. R is the second one. So what problem are we facing here? In computer language, the starting always is from 0. The counting starts from 0. So here the first location is 0, then second location is 1. So if I want B, I should mention here 0, and now I'll be getting what? I'll be getting B. So make note of this. This is very important, and this is really crucial in many cases where you will need this to understand computer coding. Whenever you are going to do in any language, the counting starts from 0. Okay, let me short it for you and confuse you. Now answer is bridge, but what if I want to print the length of this string? Like how many length function is going to give us How many characters are there in this name?
4.
Yes. So this is not going to give us 3 because it, when you are using len, it is going to count from 1. Counting, in counting section, when there is a value to counting, it will always start with 1. For len function, it is always going to start with 1. Otherwise, it is always going to start with 0. Now coming back to one very important concept, that is slicing of a string. So earlier I wrote bridge, NANDAN. Okay. So what we are going to learn is very important concept, and that is slicing. So we have start position, then we have end position, and then we have jump. So remember this format, SEJ. Okay. What is happening is, at this start position, we are going to give from what position we have to start the counting, up to what position we are going to do the counting, and if the counting is being done, is it by jumping one step at a time or is it by jumping two step at a time. Let's understand it by writing. So if I write, I want bridge, so bridge is first 4 characters. Counting starts from 0, start from 0, 4. So what output are we going to get is BRIJ. Remember the last -1, same as range function. In range, what was happening? We used to give range bracket start position and then comma end -1. Okay. Similarly here, if we give 4, it is going to count up to 0, 1, 2, 3. Now if I want, so if you do not give the third position, it is just going to take it default 1. Now if I give 2, what it is going to do is it is going to jump by 2 steps. So at first it will start with 0. At 0th position we have B, then jump 2 positions, so 1, then 2, so it is going to come at I. Now print that, then jump 2 positions, 1 and 2, but that position is a space and also greater than 4, so it will stop at 4 only. Okay, so that's why we are getting BI. There are different ways you can try it. You can also input here minus. So what it is going to do is, okay, just a second. Yeah, you see what happening, it is, I'm not giving any starting position, I'm not giving any ending position where to start and where to end, but I'm giving it that start jumping from backward. Minus means from here backward. So what it is going to give us, reversing a string. This is a one line command. Okay, one line command or one line function, sorry, not function, one line program to reverse a string. I'll show you something. Reverse a string in different other languages. Just a second, show you this. You see, so this is a Java program. It is starting from here and it is ending here at last. This is doing what? This is reversing your string. So if you are going to input ABC, it is going to give you output as CBA. So you are writing how many lines of code? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, something like more than 10. And when you are going to Python, how many lines of code you are writing? Just one single line of code, and that also like 10 to 15 characters. That is the power of Python, and that is like the beauty of Python. That is why people are using it, people are learning it. It is very simple and very easy. At first you may feel like it is tough, but as you keep practicing things, you will find it easy. Okay, don't worry about slicing. Uh, I just want you to try, like practice it. I'm pasting it in comment. You just we use -1 to do reverse. Okay, I'm just pasting the code here. You try and play with, take any string and play with it. You put your name and then give different combination like 0 to 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 5, 2 to 5, 0 0 minus 1. This is how you are going to learn. This is how you are going to play with the code and you are going to learn. And trust me, it is going to be more interesting when you start practicing it. Okay. Now I'll just give you I've shared a link on WhatsApp, and if you are not available, like if you are not able to see, just click that and try to answer this quiz. Can you see the questions? Can you see the questions? Yeah. Try answering this, the first one. I'll just start the code. Okay. So answer this first question. Variables and identifiers. The link to this questionnaire is already given into the WhatsApp. Can anybody repost it? Just a second. Yeah, I have posted the link for that. Okay, I've got just 2 votes up to now. All other people, if you can just vote. Okay, so the question was, variables and identifiers are similar. Don't worry about the wrong answers. You just answer. So these are similar. Yes, these are similar. If you are writing any variable like a is equals to 3, b is equals to c. So is it similar? Yes, it is similar. So answer is yes. So we have next question. Int a is equals to 10 semicolon. Okay. Is this a correct format of writing integer data in Python? Your answer should be true or false. Okay, so there is nothing like int. Okay, in integer, if you want to make anything integer, you just have to give a is equals to 10. Python is like brilliant enough to recognize what kind of data you are giving. Okay, it does not require whether you have to give it true, sorry, int or float. It will automatically detect it and assign it to that. Okay, so this correct answer is false. Then we have third question. If the value is same in two different variables, then their memory address is same in Python. There are two variables a and b, and we are giving some values to it, and both values are same, like a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 10. And if I'm asking whether the memory address of both are same or not, to get the memory address we use command id, right? So if we give id, so what are we going to get? Same address or not?
Same address.
Yes. So that the answer is true. If you are getting it wrong, please just ask me how and why if you have any doubts, because these are the very important chapters and you must know it, because if you are going to do the coding, these things you
Can you
should have.
repeat this answer in them?
Okay, for third one, right?
Yeah.
So third one is basically the case scenario where we did a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 10 here. When we have same value, a and b had same value, integer 10 and integer 2 is equals to. Now I'm asking, if two variables, integer 1 and integer 2, both are having same values, then the address, memory address, is same or different? So you can see the
Okay.
output,
Please
it
say.
is same. So what we are going to get is true. So the next question is, object is a real world entity with some characteristics and behaviors. Behaviors are also called as functions or methods, and characteristic is called as features. So object is a real world entity with some characteristics and behavior. time is up. So answer is true. Yes, object is a real world entity. So the next question we are going to is, class is a blueprint of object. So object is also called as instance. That is true. So my question is, class is blueprint of object. Is that true or false?
True.
Yeah, it's true. A class is a blueprint of object. Always remember the example of car. The class is car, and what are the objects? Maruti, Benz, Altroz, all these are its objects. So now we have two values, n is equals to 10, m is equals to 10.0, will give same output as both variables n and m have same value stored in it.
It's a true.
So can anybody like I'm getting mixed answers, two true and two false. So I want to understand who understand like the what question is basically saying is, if n is equals to 10 and m is equals to 10.0, will give same output as both variables n and m have same value stored in it. So question is not very clear until unless you figure what it is saying. Will give same output. What kind of output it is referring is, whenever you are going to use this n or m, and if you are using it in calculation, both will give a different like id. If you are using id, it's not clear here. If you are using id, it is going to give different answers. So the answer is both variables in them have same value stored in it. It will not give same output. If you are going to give you use id, it will not give you same output, because 10 is not equals to 10.0, so different address will have.
No. So like, why is that? Like 10 and 10.0 is not same.
That is
How
how
it's
the
built, is it?
see here. I'll show you this example we did, right? 18
Hmm.
and 18.0. In this particular case, what is happening is Python is treating 18 as integer and 18.0 as uh, float value. So what is happening here is integer is not equals to float. Okay, that is the basic concept Python is having in its mind. So if you are going to ask whether an integer is same as float for Python, no, it is not. Am I
Got
clear?
it. Yes, yes.
Okay. So the next question we have is, a variable var is equals to have it's having some data, string type of data, space I love India. In this variable var0 is going to give us what?
Which your screen is not visible.
You have the questions, right? Link, you can click and check it.
It's I.
Okay, so var0, I'm asking var0, and you have to see the question very clearly. It is having a space before I. Can you see the space?
Okay. It's very hard to see in the screen.
Okay, great. No issues. So that was the trick here.
Okay.
So if there is a space, it is going to count that as well. So again, don't go for the next question. We'll cover it now. So here comes the most interesting and most important part, and that is list and all those things. So there are certain data types which are very very important and are the cruise means the backbone of whatever you are going to do in data science, because these are the people that will be handling it completely. Okay, so first is list. What is a list? When you are going to a market, okay, and you want to buy something, what you are going to do is, if your mother calls or your wife calls you and asks you to please note and make a list of these items and bring it to me. Okay, so what are you going to do is, you are going to make a list. Suppose She's giving you some grocery like biscuit, okay, and then some tea or cabbage or some Mortine all out, anything. You make a list out of it. So what basically list is simple. It's same as the list which you are making by your hand to record different items that you are going to buy. Okay. So when you are making a list, do you make different list for your groceries, different list for your like books? If you want to buy some toothpaste or stuffs related to your bathroom, you will make a different list, and if for kitchen, you will make a different list. Do you do that? I don't think anybody does that. Okay. So what is happening here? List is having different type of data stored into it. To make a list, you have to simply just put a square bracket, and then you are ready with your list. So the syntax for list is anything written between this square bracket will be considered as a list. So we have bracket, the name of the list is my list, and this is equals to bracket 1, that is an integer, then we have 2.2, that is a float, then we have something third element written in double quotes. So what does that mean? It means it is capable of handling different types of data. Different data types are allowed in list. That is one thing. Second thing, when you are going to make a list, you are going to make an ordered list. You are writing everything in an order. So list is an ordered way. List is always in ordered way. Like first it will assign, if you have written first as like you want in your list, first item is cookie, second item is uh, suitcase, third item is candle, fourth item is something something. So that is numbered. Okay, that has a fixed location. At first position you have cookie, second position you have something, third position you have something. So what is happening here is list is an ordered sequence. Anything that you give at zeroth position we have this element, at first position we have this 2.2, at third position we have third element, at fourth position we have 12. Okay, similarly there we have an address to everything. So list is an ordered data type. Okay, so first one I'm going to run it. The name of list is my list, and we have 1, 2.2, third element, 12, 24, more values, something like that. And when we are going to print it, we are going to get a list. You see here, you see the brackets. Brackets are mandatory for defining a list here. Now, what is happening here is, if you remember few minutes back, what we were doing in this string was bracket, and we give the address of any position, or we gave some position for which we wanted the variable sorry, we wanted the value to be printed. So what is stored at that particular location? Location is also called as indexes. Indexes is basically the position of any coach of your train. So here my train is my list, and I'm asking computer what is at second position. So what it is going to find, what is the output for this? Is it going to give us 1? Is it going to give us 2.2, or it is going to give us third element? So we know that the counting starts from 0. So it is going to give us 0, 1 and 2. So at this position is third element. You see, we got what? Third element. So this is how we find the position of element. We make a list, and we can fetch or take out the element at any particular location by giving it in the form of indices, in the form like bracket, in then whatever the address value we want. Lists are mutable. Okay, two things. First is list is ordered sequence, and second is mutable. Anything is mutable. First time I heard of mutation was with genes, that a gene is changing into some other form. So from there only I learned mutable means anything that is changing. So if I have a list, I can change it. If you're going to market and your wife calls, okay, please add this one more item into the list, what will you say? Sorry, I can't bring that. If you say that, probably you are not going to come back to home. At least it is true in my case. I don't know yours. So if you are making a list, you can always edit it. Okay, so in my case, the my list at position 2, we were having this particular element, third element, and what we are going to do is we are going to replace it with another value, and that is this could be an integer, float, or anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace element 3 with whatever the value is at my list position 2, and if I print it, you see 1 2.2 and element 3. Earlier what it was third element, now it is what, element 3. What has happened here, we have modified our list. So let's sorry list lists are mutable, that is we can change it. Then we have another function. We do not want to keep this element, we want to remove this element, or we want to delete some element out of my list. If I can add some elements, if I can add some items into my list on a call, my wife can even ask me to cut down or remove some items from the list. Do not bring this thing, I do not need it. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to delete it. To delete, she can ask in a two way: delete second item in your list, or delete Martin. There are two different way. When she's telling delete Martin, means she's specifying which particular element we have to remove. Okay, now if it is said like this, remove second item in your list, then I'm giving you an address, and whatever thing is written on that particular address, please remove that. In that case, we have two ways of removing any item from the list, and for doing that we have two different command. One is remove command and second is pop command. So when I use remove, then I'll have to specify what element exactly I want to remove. Remove so and so item from my list. So name of the list, then dot is basically go inside this my list, and then remove 2.2. See, the coding is very straightforward like an English language. Go into my list and then remove 2.2. So it is going to remove 2.2 from that particular list. And if I print, you see what has happened. This 2.2 is eliminated here. Now we have 1, element 3, 12, 24, and more values. Yeah, please, yes. If you had any
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. If the 2.2 is multiple characters are there, so then means number
You
are there.
you mean to say like there are more than one 2.2 here, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's try that then. These questions are good, but it's more good if you practice and try it, because in that way you are going to learn by yourself. Okay, so this is our list. Now I'm going to remove it. So it is going to remove, actually this is a really good question, but you should have tried. So what position have I removed here? The
I
first
think
one?
only first one it is removed.
Yes, it is always removing the first occurrence.
Yeah.
Okay, to understand that, you put here comma 2.2, then I run it and I go back and I run it again. So what it is happening is it is removing the first occurrence. Okay,
Yes.
similarly, when we use the address remove the second item from my list, then pop out 2, position 2 element. So pop is like popping out. There is a this term basically, if you want to remember, learn like popping pimples. There was an ad that they have made some nose of some silicon gel, and they put some uh, cream into that, and they for anxiety relieving, similar to Spidget spinner. So popping pimples, so to pop a pimple you have to go particularly to that place where the pimple is. So that's how I remember, to pop an element you have to go to that address. So what you are going to put in this is you are going to put some address, so that is the position. So what I'm telling by this particular line is go to my list, then dot means go to my list, and then pop element at second position. At second position, what we have is 0, then we have 1, and then we have 2. So it is going to remove what? 12. You see, the 12 is removed. Then we have another. If we can remove, then definitely and if we can change, then definitely we can add some value. Okay, add this item. To add an element, what it is going to do is we have to use a command that is called as append. Okay, to append, so I'm telling the computer or the Python to append 2.2 into my list, and what it is happening is it is adding 2.2 into this particular list, but it is adding at last. Okay, it is adding at the last. What if I want to add at first or second or third position? Try it by yourself. That's your job to find out. Then we have tuple. Okay, tuple is also an ordered sequence. Means whatever position you give, that will be the data will be stored at specific position. But what is the difference between list and tuple is you can change the list. You see, in list what you did was you did pop, you did append, you did change the elements with some other value. You can do all those things, so you can modify your list, so it is mutable. But if you cannot modify it, it is called as tuple. So tuples, to write a tuple you have to use different bracket, and that is this bracket. Anything written into this kind of bracket is basically called as tuple. Okay, so when I say ordered means I can find any element at any position. So my tuple 2 means give the element at position number 2 from this particular variable my tuple. So it is going to give me value at second position, that is 30. Now let's try to change the value. Okay, I said it is immutable, but still let's try to change it. If I'm trying to change it, what I'm getting is tuple object does not support item assignment. Means you cannot assign any value in tuple. Okay, so that is what's happening is we are trying to change it. Okay, now if somebody is there and they may use higher level of brain, they will say, okay, I'll change this my tuple to a list and then modify it, and then again change back it to tuple. So what I'm trying to say is my tuple is, suppose my name of my tuple is A. What I will do is I'll change it to, this is A is my tuple. Okay, A is a tuple. So what I'll do is change it to list. Why? Because lists are mutable. We can change the list. Yeah, changing a tuple to list is possible. It is called as data type conversion, converting one type of data into another type. That is possible. Now I'll change the list. I'll add an element to it. Okay, I'll make it list and then change it and then again convert back to tuple. Is that possible? Yes, that is possible. Then means are we not violating it? Like I said, tuple can't be changed, but we are violating here and changing the tuple by converting it once into different format and then coming back. So I'll tell answer to that. No, we cannot do that. Yes, the name could be same. Name could be same, but the real address will change. Okay, so that is not possible here. So this is going to give us an error because this kind of functionality, that is changing or mutation, is not possible in tuple. The third data type is set. What is a set? Set is an unordered collection. Means you are not going to know whether which element is lying at position 1, which element is at position 2. It is not fixed. You input a data into a set, it is like a random place it is going to fall. Okay, you are not going to find where I have kept it. So if I enter 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, if I ask what is the element at 0th position, So if it was a list or tuple, I could easily say 10 is the variable number, sorry, that is at 0th position. But in case of set, we cannot say that. For making a set, you have to put what? A curly bracket. Okay. We have to put a curly bracket. Anything written in curly bracket with comma separation, that is our set. So this is my set. You see, I had input 10, 20, 30, 40 in this order. Then output is coming 40, 10, 50, 23. It is not storing in any order. Okay. Now I'm giving 10, 20, 20, 30, 30. What is happening here is it is removing the duplicates. So duplicates are not allowed in set. Okay. Remember two things. Set is an unordered collection and duplicates are not allowed in set. If you check the type of data of my set, this variable is my set, it is going to give us what type of data we are using, it set. Now if I give print my set at 0th position, what it is going to give us some error. Why? Because we know that, we know what, we know that this particular feature of finding elements based on some address or indexes is not possible in set. Then the last one is dictionary. What is dictionary? Dictionary is also an unordered collection, same as set. It is also written in the same format, curly brackets. So what is difference between dictionary and set? So major difference what is lying in between these two is, in case of dictionary, suppose you have a dictionary and if you want to search the meaning of any word, what you are going to do is you are going to compare. Suppose I have to search the meaning of apple, so I'll open my dictionary and first search capital A, then I'll search small a, then p, then L, then E. As soon as the complete thing matches, I'll find the value really or the meaning of that word. It is happening same here. Dictionary acts in a key value pair. So one word and then its meaning. So key and then its value. What is uh, happening here is any value that we are going to give is associated with key. It is similar like your name associated with your roll number. If I call a roll number, what is going to happen is some person of your class is going to come. Okay. Can a class have same number, roll number? Can we have a duplicate roll number in a class? Can we have a duplicate roll number in a class?
No.
Yeah. So that is very clear. We cannot have same roll number. So key is equals to our roll number and value is equals to our the name, the person. Okay. So we can have just one key, a individual key, a unique key, but values can differ. In a class, a roll number cannot repeat, but there can be two person with the same name. Okay. In a class, there can be two Rahul, but what is going to happen? The both Rahul will have different roll number. Similarly, in a dictionary, keys are unique, but the values can be repeated. And to find any particular value, we have to find it on the basis of uniqueness. And what is unique? It's key value or the roll number. So here we have made a dictionary, and the method of writing it is curly bracket, then you have to write the key, then double colon, then we have to write the value, then comma, and it goes on. Okay. Key value pair, you have to write key and then its value. So the syntax it, you have to write like this. You write key here, then it's, sorry, key, then its associated value. Then if there are more than one, then you write key 2, and what is the value 2. So this way you can write multiple keys and values in a dictionary. Okay. So as I said, these are unordered collection, but still we are getting specific values, but that is on the basis of keys, not on the basis of positions. So that is why we are saying it as unordered. Okay. Now update a value in a dictionary. So at key 2 we have value 2, but if you want to update it, what we are going to do is value 2.2 is equals to my dictionary key 2. So you have to enter here which key is replacing. Okay, I'm replacing this particular value of a key that is having a name key 2. So this way assigning a new value to a new key is possible. Can we add new key? Yes, we can add new key. If key 4, you see key 4 is not here. Now if you assign a value to key 4 that is not here, it is going to add it. Okay, that is why we are seeing this key 4 here. So addition of a new value or change of a new value change of a value in a dictionary is possible. Similarly, we can remove any particular element. So we see that we have here key 2 is equals to value 2.2, and now here we have deleted it by command del. So del is a command where we use it to delete it. So now we have one topic left today, and before that, okay, I'll finish it, then we'll go for the quiz. So data type conversion means converting one type of data into another. Suppose we have integer type of data and we want to convert it into float type of data or string type of data. In that case, we have to do some conversion. So conversion of what? Data types. So that is why it is called as data type conversion or typecasting. Typecasting or type conversion. These two terms are same. So here we have 5.5. 5.5 is basically a float value. Okay. Now we are going to convert it into int, integer. So this is the format, converting this value into integer type. If I run it, it is going to give us what? Just 5. Let me write it in a different way. A is equals to 8.9. Now if I print what? The type is for what? Defining what type of data it is. Now if I do that, I'm going to get what? Float. Okay. Now if I have to convert it into integer, I'll use int function and pass a as its value. So pass a into integer and convert it and then check the type. Okay, the bracket is missing. Always take care of the brackets here. One more bracket. You see, earlier it was what? Float, and now it is what? Int. So this is how we can change the value. Now if I've changed the value, what is going to be a? It is going to be just 8.9, but it is what? Integer type of data. Just a second, there is some error here. What is that? Yeah, you see here I have used int a, so I'm converting the value here a, but I'm not. Okay, just a second. Yeah, see, so this is what I was about to tell. If you use this type of notation, like if you convert it, it will give us changed value, but is it changing it originally? This original value, it was 8.9 and that was float. Okay, so that value is not yet changed. To change that in completely to integer type, what I have to do is I have to reassign it. So this statement means I am converting this a into integer type and then again storing it back into a. Now if I run it, you see what I'm going to get is, first here I get 8, then here we get 8.9. Here what we are doing is we are converting a into integer and then again going to a and storing the integer value into it. So it is 8.9 is getting replaced with 8. So that is why when we are printing here, we are getting integer type of value. You see, I removed the int from here and it is giving us what? 8. Similarly for float, if I write float 5, it is going to convert it to float 5.0. If I give string and we want to convert this integer 5 into string, it is getting converted into single quotes. You see, double and single quotes both are allowed. So it is converting into string. Now, if we have a float here, 5.5, and we want to convert it into string, so it's going to add double quotes into that. Here is a value 5, that is string type, and I want to convert it into integer. I have added int and 5. So it is converting it into integer. Here we have a float type and I want to convert into integer. This is not going to work. Why? Now understand. This is a float inside value. 5.5 is a float and that value is itself a string. So first it has to be converted to, this string has to be converted to float, then that float value is to be converted to integer. It is two-step process, so you cannot do it in one single step. So just try it out at your end how to convert it. Okay, how to convert some this string 5.7 to integer format. You will understand what I'm trying to say. So let's see here, I'm converting it this 5.5 to float. Okay, now you can, if you give int bracket 5.5, it will be converted. So it is a two-step process. Similarly here 5, so string it was, it has removed the string and then added 0.0 to it. Now we have char int 10. Here we have two things, numbers and characters. So it cannot be converted into integer because an integer cannot have some characters into it. That is why we are getting error. Then at last we have, this is one string text 1 because it is stored in single quote, plus 20 and then another string. So is it possible to add two strings? Yes, we can add two strings together. Suppose stri is equals to single quote a and nam is equals to single quote b, then se, this is third one, se is equals to stri plus nam. What is going to happen is it is going to add it and then let's see what's happening. Print se. So se is basically what? I have written here name. Okay, nam. So stri was having a and nam was having b. So what we are going to do is with plus operator we are going to add it. So addition is basically adding these two strings together. This step, this process is called as this one. This is called as concatenation. Concatenation basically means addition of strings into one single string. So you cannot add 20 here. Why? Because 20 is what? Integer type of data. And this text1 and text2 are string type of data. That is why we are not able to add it. To add this into text1 and text2, we have to do type conversion. To convert it into string, we have to write str, then bracket 20. Now it is going to run because 20 is now converted into string. Now it is getting concatenated here. Similarly, if we have a string and if we multiply with any number, it is going to repeat it. See, text 20, text 2, then again text 1, 20, text 2. Okay, if here in this case if we write se star 5, so it is going to print ab 5 times, ab, right? That is what is happening. So you can add two strings, you can multiply a number to a string to duplicate it. Any other mathematical operations cannot be done on a string. As you see here, 20 I was trying to add with string, it was not possible. You can use addition symbol only on strings. Two strings can be added together, but it cannot be added with any other data format. So if I want to convert list to a set, so my list is list 1 is equals to a b c c, this is 1. So I'm printing print my list 1, I'm printing it. Then type, I'm checking what type of list 1 is, what type of data it is. To convert it into set, we'll write set, and then inside that we are passing this my list. So my list, whatever things are there, it is going to get converted into a set, and we are naming it as my set 1, and then we are checking its data type. So first statement of print gave us that list abcc. Then we are printing the type of list here, so it is giving it as a list. Then we are converting it into set and checking what type of data it is, so it is set. And then we are printing at last my set, so what it is giving us curly bracket. And what is a set? Set is unordered collection, and it does not allow duplicates. So here we have c and c, that is why one c is getting what removed, and we have a, b and c. Okay, string to list. So this is my string 1 is equal, this is string to list. We are checking what type of data we have, and to convert anything to a list, we are going to put this in function called as list. Okay, we are passing our string inside that. Okay, yesterday we had discussed anything with these two brackets are a function. So here if we have a function called as list, anything that we give to that function is going to be converted into a list. So list is a function, and we are converting my string 1 to a list, and then we are checking how that has occurred, you see. And when you are going to print that string to list, it is not going to be in this format. It is going to convert each character into one special character, and that is going to be stored at this form. You see, you remember doing this. I'll just add one more thing. Earlier with this we did this, right? String 1, then bracket, at second position what we got was I. You see, so at the background this is happening, this is happening at the background. It is getting converted to list, and it is counting the position. So 0th position, first position, and second position. So output in this case is also going to be the same. You see, both case we have same output. So I think that is all for today, and I'll just start the quiz. Can you see the quiz? Please try to answer it. So question is, list is ordered and written between brackets. So is it curly bracket?
False.
Great. So answer is false.
Yes.
Then we have another question. Tuples are faster than list. Okay, tuples are faster. That is true. Tuples are faster than list, but because it is mutable, because it is changeable. Is it true or false? Tuples are mutable. Is it true?
False.
False. Yes, we cannot change the tuples. Tuples are written between normal brackets. That is these brackets. And tuples are faster than list, but it is not because it is mutable, because it is immutable. We cannot change it. That is why it is faster. Then in next questions we have sets. Set is ordered and does not allow duplicates. Is it true? Set is ordered and does not allow duplicates. First part is ordered,
False.
so it is false.
False.
But yes, when
False.
it comes to duplicacy, it does not allow duplicacy. So, but overall statement is false. The next question is dictionary is having key value pair, that is true, with non-duplicates value. Is it true or false? What is value basically? Value is your name, and what is key is roll number. So what should be unique or non-duplicate? Roll numbers or keys. So in this case, it is telling with non-duplicate values. So is it true or false?
True.
It is false. We should have non-duplicate keys. Okay, we can have duplicate values. If you see here, what was happening here is, let me go back to dictionary. Yeah, here we have value 2.2, value 1, value 3. If I change this, we are adding value 4, right? We are changing it to value 2. So will it keep that thing or will it remove? You see value 1, value 3 and value 2. Okay, just a second, let me run this first and then this. See, for key 2 we have value 2 and key 4 also we have value 2. So we can have different we have like non-duplicate keys, but we should be like aware that we can have same values is possible. In a class, two Rahul is possible, but both Rahul will not be having same roll number. So this is false. So now this is last question. I'll try to answer it. Which is wrong? First is my list is equals to square bracket 1 2 single quote a, then my tuple, the type of bracket a 1 2, then we have my set is equals to 1 2 3 4, then my dictionary is equals to curly bracket this. Okay, keys can be numerics or not. Just try it by your end. Here we have key value pairs numerics. Is it possible both can be numbers? Key is 96 and value as 10. Is it possible to, is it correct to have both as numbers? Yes, we can have both as numbers. So answer is none of the above, right? No, the answer is this. What type of bracket do we use for sets? We use curly brackets. So this is wrong. If we had put this, it was correct, and then answer would be none of the above. So that was our test, and I suppose this thing was clear. And if anybody has doubt, please ask before we move tomorrow to next in-depth analysis of these four data types.
Yeah, I have one doubt. In the key part, if we want to add some variable in between, like total four keys, and I want to add in a second position, so can we add on specific position key value?
Okay, so I think before that you must understand, is key ordered, sorry, dictionary ordered or not?
Okay.
So a dictionary is not an ordered collection. Okay,
Yeah, got it.
so I don't think we are given that facility to add anything at a specific position here. Only thing that we have here is we can relate a value with its key. We cannot add at a specific location like third at or second position. Okay, we can only add at the last, and also that last is not for sure. It might change because it is an unordered collection. Only key value pair remains same.
Got it.
Okay, anybody else if has any doubts? If not, then we can stop the recording and end the session now. Fine, then we can end it. Thank you, everyone, and we'll connect next Saturday and Sunday. And I think 2 hours for Saturday and 2 hours for Sunday, and then we'll be starting with uh, after three more classes. Then we'll be starting with the machine learning part. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.